by Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.
Y'all, y'all already know what's gonna happen right now, so, let's just cut to the chase, alright? Alright? Let's just cut to the chase. Headphone warning. Just adjust that. Okay. Whew. Let me just cry for a little minute. Just cry. I'm just gonna. Okay, cool. I have game over to run. Cool, let's go. Alright. Alright, you know. Oh no, I knocked over the sloth. Screw it. Okay. He's down just like the Canucks defense. Alright, I feel like I'm in proper uniform today. Got the Luongo jersey that's like 5 sizes too big. Alright. So how is everyone? If you can't tell, all your listeners love you to death. I tried to do emo makeup, but I can't do eyeliner, so like this is the best you're getting. Just a ton of black eyeshadow. Yeah, at least it wasn't a shutout. Okay. Just 1 second. Think you know what way it's gonna go? Never do with the Vancouver Canucks. Make your bet with Sports Interaction. Whether it's World Cup, hockey, football, or basketball, Sports Interaction has you covered. Bet pregame, live in play, or on one of our many prop bets. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Join now and see all sports betting has to offer. Want to bet? Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. 19 plus, please play responsibly. So the Canucks lost again. Of course, it was me hosting Game Over. Do you think they would have won? Anyway. Yeah, so that was certainly a game that happened. The first period wasn't great. The Canucks coming into this, they just lost 5-1 to the Capitals, and they called that one a fluke game. Like, that's not gonna happen again. We're gonna be better than that. We're gonna be better than that. Always bet against the Vancouver Canucks. That's a joke, but not really a joke. It can, yeah. So, going into this game, lost 5-1 after that pretty good, like, they won all 3 games on the road trip, even against Vegas, who's one of the top teams of the league, and Colorado, who just won the Stanley Cup. Yeah, so they're going into this, okay, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great game. We also think, you would also think, like, Florida, they just lost the 2 games in Alberta, including 6-2 against Calgary on Tuesday, which is not good. Yeah. It was certainly a game that happened. It was certainly a game. You would think that with a ceremonial type game, like they did with Bieksa, they won that game 8-5. Was it a great defensive effort? No, but they won. This game, was it a great defensive effort? Definitely not. Did they win? Hell no. Hell no. Yeah. The sad thing about this game, I guess the biggest story, Thatcher Demko, who knows how long he's gonna be out. I don't like to speculate on injuries, take as much time as you need away from, like, it obviously, they put him in when he wasn't at 100%. We know he had that minor surgery over the summer. We know, he was injured at the end of last season. That's when Martin came back in and, like, played spectacularly. But, yeah. Yeah, we know, I think they put him in before he was ready for it. I think they're rushing a lot of players with injuries, especially the last few years. Like, I believe Pettersson wasn't ready to come back in. I believe Besser wasn't at the beginning of the season. I think Hughes might still be dealing with whatever he was. Or maybe it's kind of over now, but yeah. Yeah. It was just a not good game after a not good game, and you would think that, hey, they had the excuse last time. They had like 3 games in 4 days. That's a lot. That's a lot. But like another is the whole team just like sick? Because I know I got a cold like the other week, and like I was out for like I just been asleep for like the last 2 weeks. I have no idea what's going on in the world. Um, Canucks fans so devastated about the season we're discussing the World Cup, which was also devastating. So hey, you can't have anything nice when you're a Canadian sports fan. Kudos. Yeah. It was all fine and dandy. There was a few giveaways that weren't so good in the first, but Demko was, as always, covering for the rest of the Canucks. Because, like, that's just what he's always done. He always does that. He always did. Yeah, that's what they got into the pattern of him doing. And then, 3 goals in 59 seconds happens. The first goal, it was kind of just, bad luck. Bad luck. How does this affect the Leafs? Get out. Get out. Yeah, the Kachuk goal, Luke Schen's trying to throw it up to his winger, Dakota Joshua, but Dakota Joshua's stick broke, and he was trying to go back to the bench to get a stick, but then he had to come back. Just not a good situation. Gave it away to Mahura, I believe, who gave it to, who then gave it to Kachuk. So, yeah. Kachuk hates us. He has 30 points against us, or I think he has a few more, because did he also get an assist later on? He did. He has 2 assists on the game. So he has 32 points now against us. That's fun. Yeah, and then like a few seconds later, Forsling, who I believe we drafted, by the way. Feel like we drafted him. I think they said that or something like that. Yeah. Jonathan Tanner Miller. He goes to block the shot initially, but he also had the opportunity to throw it out of the zone, which he didn't, because Stacey Miller. Yeah, they were screening Demko. It may have gone off of Ethan Bear's stick, but you don't need 4 guys in the same slot that are all covering your goalie. So up to the first goal, I was like, okay, Demko's doing decent. And then the first goal happens. Second goal, okay, maybe this is, like, it was defensive flukes, whatever. Third goal. 1, what was Riley Stillman doing? Exactly. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, I could see the goal. There is a goalie, a giant man with giant pads on, and he's trying to stop the puck. Stillman decides to look to the goalie instead of the guy with the puck, and then the puck goes in the net. That is not... The defense... Does the... I don't know what his point is. I understand why they played him. He is a former Panther. He is a former Panther. I believe he spent a number of years with the organization. It's just why? Just why? Why are you doing? Like, I understand playing him because, otherwise it's like Babcock, like, and who wants to be like that guy, right? But yeah. Noted staying in your net goalie Thatcher Demko. Yes, that's another thing. Yeah, so after what Riley Stillman does, Demko's also injured now. It did not look good. He had to be helped down the tunnel, putting absolutely no weight on, I believe, his right leg. It looks like it could be hamstring, knee, hip, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. It was an interesting, like, I don't know if he overextended something, but people are saying that this could be the end of the season. Hopefully not. Yeah. This game, so Demko was already getting no support whatsoever, absolutely. And, then 3 goals in 59 seconds, which has to be a record or something, because that's just atrocious. So then Spencer Martin goes in. I noticed something funny. Where Demko gets injured and Martin's in the game now, and suddenly the Canucks figure out how to get into the offensive zone. They were doing nothing. They were doing absolutely nothing to create any offensive hope against the Panthers, or at least, like, they were not going to the Panthers zone for more than 5 seconds. It was barely 5 seconds, whereas when Martin comes in, oh look, they're finally. Do they know what side of the ice they're supposed to score on at this point? Because I've noticed this is a trend. They don't know where stuff is. They don't know where stuff is at any time. Second period, Miller fought Gudas, which I thought was a weird matchup, because Gudas is quite a fighter, and Miller is our first-line winger, for better or for worse. So, not the greatest matchup, but also I'm pretty sure Radko Gudas was trying to kill Niels Höglander tonight, because he hit him quite hard. He's a tiny little guy. And then also later in the game, he tries to get in a scrum with this 5'9" child. I don't want to call him a child. He's older than me, but yeah. One thing I will mention. Oh yeah, Shen also bodied Eric Stahl in the second, which was the best. Martin. You know what Martin needs to have? Martin needs one of those little, like, leashes, like the backpack leashes you get for toddlers. He needs one of those, and then you need to attach it to the goal. Maybe the crossbar. Because where are you going, sir? Where are you like, did you learn from the Jacob Markstrom School of Goaltending? Which, oh my god, what the hell was that tonight? Yeah, Martin was very far out of his net for the 4-0 goal, which was the... Nope. He let another goal later on. Never mind. Yeah, it was 5-1. The game ended 5-1. Again. So pretty much 4-0. It just wasn't a good play. Kachuk to Verhaeghe, and Martin goes towards Verhaeghe and slides all the way across. But then he forgets there's another guy there, Sam Bennett, and then Verhaeghe sends the pass to Bennett, who then scores. Which is not good. Not good. Hog sending... Yes, that's what happened to the 5-1 goal. Yeah, Hogs is just like, I'm gonna shoot it! I'm like, that's... The boards... That's not the goal, that's the boards, and then Hughes completely misses it, because how could you get that, bro? Goes straight to Kachuk to Bennett. Oop. Yeah. Martin was very far out of his net for that. Like, I understand trying to get there to stop Verhaeghe, but also... Like, could you still be in the blue paint? He was out of the blue paint. Like, like the goaltender's little house? He left the house. He left the sacred space of the house to go and attack this man, but then it was another man. And then he was like, oh no, he found my house. Like, I don't know what goaltenders think of. They're weird. Yeah, I also found it funny that all of 6'15" or whatever Tyler Myers is, he couldn't figure out how to stop the puck. Because he was, like, laying down, also in the blue paint, because Martin went wee on an adventure to Verhaeghe, and then there's Sam Bennett. Yeah, Myers just, like, stretched out, but he stretched out this vertically instead of horizontally. Oh, God. Yeah, he... Like, you have so much man. There is so much man of Tyler Myers. Please put it in the right direction to do your job. That is all I ask of you, Tyler Myers. Please just block a puck once a game, and I will defend your deal for the rest of my life. So excited for Bo Horvat to become a Toronto Maple Leaf. They can't afford him. Come on, look at the John Tavares deal. Come on, man. There's lipstick on my cup. Anyway, then Joshua scores with Bear and Dries. This is what I actually noticed, that they messed up the lines, because it was Dakota Joshua with Sheldon Dries and Brock Besser. That was not a line at the beginning of the game, but it was. It was at one point. Yeah. Pettersson made some insane moves at one point. In the second, Myers bobbles the puck, of course. Canucks finally got ozone time in the second, but they barely did. Yeah. Miller had a giveaway. What's new? Gave Bennett a breakaway. Hughes, they depend on him too much. I have the stats open. So they're the second highest time on ice for a defenseman in this last game was 20 minutes and 4 seconds, and that was OEL. There's only two players. Bo Horvat and JT Miller both have over 20 minutes as forwards, which is insane. But yeah, Quinn Hughes has 24 minutes and 16 seconds on the ice. That's that's quite a bit. It's not the most he's played, of course. But yeah. Yeah, the Joshua goal is when I realized we were messing up the lines a bit. Because yeah, Joshua, Dries, and Besser. That was not, Besser was on the first line. That was a whole thing today, because they're talking about how they want to get Besser more point production. You know, he had that point streak that ended at San Jose, but he's still on the second power play unit. Excuse me. Oh god, sorry about that. And then they had, obviously the Millennium Line, what I call them, Mikheyev, Pettersson, Kuzmenko, and then they had Höglander, Dries, and Garland, which is the short Kings line, because they're all under 5'10". I know the NHL website says that Connor Garland's 5'10". There is no way. There's no way he's 5'10". I don't believe that. And then Dries and Höglander are 5'9", and obviously Joshua, Oma, and Lazar as the fourth line. And then they also messed up the pairings a bit, because Stillman was in for Burrows with Myers instead tonight. But at one point they had Shen and... Was it Shen and Bear that was out there? I don't remember that. I wrote it down somewhere. Yeah, Bear was with Shen, which is odd. Thank you. And then Hughes and OEL were together, which I'm that's a weird pairing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to Shen and Hughes together, even though Shen had the giveaway on the first goal, but then again, you think that guy's gonna be there and he's not. Yeah. I noticed a couple interesting things, especially on the power play, considering they moved Brock Besser up to the first line to try and get him more offensive time, but then they don't put him on the first power play. I thought this was interesting, because I also noticed, I know Andrei Kuzmenko had a great year on the power play, especially. But if you're moving Brock up to the first line, doesn't it also make sense to put him on the first power play unit? Just want to get some thoughts out there about that, because I noticed on the third power play at the beginning of the second, third power play at the beginning of the third, yeah, which, they haven't scored power play goal in a while. Horvat had a one-timer and it was stopped by Knight, but Kuzmenko was like right there. And he didn't try and like shoot it in or anything. Like he just kind of stood there. And I feel like Brock Besser would have at least tried to get the puck, but that's just my opinion on it. But yeah. 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 Hoglander got moved to the top line. Hughes and OEL were together bare with Shen. They were getting more time in the ozone. I think halfway through the third, they said that the Canucks had 11 shots and Florida had 1 in the third. But Florida's the only team that scored in the third. That was halfway through. That was before the 5-1 goal from Sam Bennett. But yeah, Martin likes to leave his net a lot, and I know one of the principles of this channel is to say if your goaltender tend your goal, but yeah, he thinks the goal is bigger, I think. Maybe it's because he's like smaller than Demko is. But yeah. Hoglander Gudis fight? No, I don't want that. After what happened to another, I guess they're not really rookies anymore. They're just super young. But yeah. It was very all over the place. Like, the broadcast team mentioned this a few times. It was very all over the place, especially in the third, because the first was like Florida was running the Canucks' show, but Demko was bailing them out until the Canucks realized we're gonna like hate this guy, and then he got injured. So yay. I don't know who they're gonna call up, but I'll get to that in a second. If there's a silver lining tonight, you'll get home before 4 a.m. That was another golden one. And the Hockey Hall of Fame will not be requesting the tape. Yeah. Yeah, that was certainly something. They were booing in the last minute, for those who were still there, considering at like halfway through the third, you could tell that that's where I kind of agree with the debate on making the chairs a different color, because the red really stands out as, the red really stands out as, like, oh yeah, these guys aren't here to watch your game, or these people aren't here to watch your game. It really stands out on the broadcast too, and I'm just like looking a lot, and I'm like looking around and you see a lot. It's a sea of red, but in Calgary that's a good thing. In Vancouver it is definitely not. So there's that. Swear I heard a sell the team yell from somewhere in the arena. Interesting. And somebody threw a rat on the ice, so obviously there was a Florida fan there. I think that trend is actually hilarious, the rat throwing, so kudos to whoever did that. Sucks that Florida won. They almost gave Eric Stahl a goal, which I didn't like. The Canucks defense was not there tonight, but then again, when is it ever? Yeah. Just a reminder, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe, share the show. Subscribe down below to SDPN. And, send your messages in the chat. Why does everyone want Quinn Hughes to go to New Jersey? That would be too many Hughes. Too many. Too much, man. We'll take Myers if you want him for the Panthers. Oh my god, yeah. Like, as much as I'm sorry. I do like Tyler Myers, but he does not make the best decisions. Yeah. He does not make the best decisions. I like him in like kind of like a meme way, you know? Somebody asked, do I like the Leafs? Not as much as the Canucks, but where's Ryan Reynolds as a potential owner? He was at the Sens game. Yeah. He was at the Sens game, so maybe he's looking at them, because I think the Sens would be cheaper than the Canucks. Apparently the Canucks are worth $1 billion. Don't see how that's possible, but you never know. How can we have such a solid road trip and then just start blowing it at home? Get them on the road for the rest of the season. Oh god. Who is Damon Severson even? At a second, come on, man. No. I don't want to trade Quinn Hughes. Reynolds doesn't want to buy the Canucks. I don't know. I feel a lot of responsibility. Yeah. If he owned the Canucks, it'd be great if Taylor Swift could write a song about them, because, you know, they're, like, family friends or whatever. Anyway. Yeah, the Canucks, they had such a solid road trip, you know. They win in Colorado, which surprised me. They win in Vegas, 5-1. They win in San Jose. Like, they squeak it out. But, the billion includes the arena. But the arena isn't even nice. Like, I'm sorry. It's a decent arena. But it's really funny being, like, the comparison to BC Place. Because I also frequent BC Place, and it's just... And, like, other arenas. Even though I will say, I did like Rogers Arena better than Scotiabank Arena. So, there's that. The property as well. Yeah, property value in Vancouver is ridiculous. Yeah. Does everyone want to talk about plus minus? Because that's, like, my favorite stat for some reason. Pettersson's goes down. He was at a plus 10 before the Washington game, where he was on ice for every single goal. So he ended up going down to just a plus 5 for, I believe, the month of November. So I guess he stayed at a plus 5. But yeah, he got a minus 2 again, so that's fun. Brock Besser broke even! So yay! Good for Oak, because he was on the ice. Yeah, because the Dakota Joshua goal, it was just a lucky bounce for the Canucks. I think Canucks Central was talking about it, or somebody was talking about how Martin tends to get the better bounces than Demko does. And I think that's true. Martin has definitely had luck on his side for when he's in net. Whereas Demko, he just gets the unfortunate bounces, and also the Canucks D trusts him better, or the Canucks just overall trust him better, which does not work out in their favor usually. Any players I'd like to see at Canucks jerseys? Ooh. Shane Pinto. That just came to my mind. I don't know why. I'm trying to think of players that are like... I can't think. I saw a post of Connor Bedard, and it was like, they photoshopped him. I don't remember who it was or where it was, but they were trying to show him, like, in different teams' jersey. And for the Canucks jersey, I couldn't tell if they photoshopped him over Jonathan Lekkerimäki or Vasily Podkolzin. I could not tell, so I think it was Lekkerimäki, but who knows. Pinto Bean. Hello, McKaylee, resident Sens fan. Yeah, the billion has to include the, the billion has to include the Rogers Arena. There's no way that team is worth $1 million. Yeah, the Joshua goal, he was trying to pass it to Besser. Speaking of weird bounces, he was trying to pass it to Besser, but then it goes off a Panther stick and squeaks through, like, Knight instead. So, yeah. I'm trying to think of, like, I'm trying to think of young players. But the only person I could think of as a young player is Jamie Drysdale. He's a young defenseman, but also he's, like, injured for, like, the entire season, so I don't think that would work. Yeah. Demko's getting no support. 3 goals in 59 seconds. Any call-ups you want to see from Abbotsford? Yes, that was another thing I want to talk about, because I don't know what's going to happen for goaltending, because we're probably going to have to call somebody up, you know. New Hook. Oh! That could be cool. Yeah. Other Victoria people I don't want to see on the team. I don't want to see Jamie Benn on the Canucks. He's from Victoria. I don't like Jamie Benn. Yeah. Any call-ups you want to see from Abbotsford? I don't know. I'm so sad about Demko being injured because like he was having such a good game. Like he was showing confidence. He was electric. He was, the freaking glove save. He just grabs the puck like he's just, oh yeah, I'm just gonna grab it. No big deal. No big deal. Like I'm just gonna take the puck. I understand that's like his job, that he gets like paid like millions to do, but also it's pretty cool when he does it. So yeah, I think he also, because it was when his stick was like halfway across the ice, so he didn't want Martin Brodeur just run and pick it up, and then the puck almost goes in, because that almost happened. Hi Nat. That almost happened in one game a long time ago. Yeah. On the first PK, which was the Besser interference call, which I thought was so weird. That was such a good save. He hooked the puck with the back of his leg, and then it was just, Luongo would be so proud. Even though it's probably a conflict of interest because he works for the Panthers, I think. Yes. But yeah. Absolutely robbed Matthew Tkachuk there. It's hilarious. Probably Colin Delia, I'm assuming maybe Archer Seelovs. Yeah, I could see that, because I think Seelovs doesn't have as many starts in the AHL right now, and also, I believe Delia has NHL experience. Colin Delia is a Colin with 2 L's in his first name. Yeah, he's played 32 NHL games. So, he's played all of those with the Chicago Blackhawks. He says 8 starts. He's played 8 games in Abbotsford. 5-3-0 in Abby with a .884. So that'll be fun if we call him up. Has Seelovs played this year? Yeah. Archer Seelovs. Seelovs has played 11 games so far for Abby. He's 4-4-2 with also a .884. So, Elias Pettersson, the new backup. Yeah, I could see that, especially that video of him playing goalie. Like, that was hilarious. Delia's experience in the NHL. He played 8 games for Chicago last season with a .889, 1-4-1. He was a .90-2 in the COVID-shortened season, 1-3-1. He, in 2018-19, he was a .908, 6-4-3 in 16 games. And he played 2 games, 1-1, .889, 2017-18. So, I could see him as Martin's backup, but this is, then again, you're putting your supposed backup goalie in a starter role, which, I mean, is kind of like what Florida has had to do, which is not hilarious, but they're paying Sergei Bobrovsky like $10 million, something insane like that. Who's more visible, Connor Garland or John Cena? Oof. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Could I maybe play in goal? Dude, I can't see anything. I'll try. I always wanted to be a goalie. That was actually, like, Roberto Long was my childhood hero. I wanted to be a hockey goalie. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up. But then, then I found out, like, my eyes don't work, so I couldn't do that. Anyway, yeah. I could see Delia as our backup, It is what it is. The Leafs are, like, 4th in the league right now, and they had horrific goaltender injuries, so, hey, you know what? I know we don't have an Eric Kallgren. Is his first name Eric? I think we don't have a Kallgren, but, what do you do with Horvat? Oh god, I kept saying I wanted to re-sign him. I wanted to re-sign him so badly. I wanted to re-sign him before my birthday. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, my birthday is this upcoming Sunday, December 4th. I was like, they're gonna re-sign him by my birthday. They're gonna re-sign. That's what I kept saying over the entire summer, too. Like, even before Miller, even after Miller. Eric, thank you. I was like, they're signing him by my birthday. That's all I want for my 20th birthday. That's all I want. And then they're definitely I don't know what they're gonna do with Horvat. If they're still in a bad position by the end of the playoffs, or the end of, if they're still in a bad position by the end of January, I say, like the All-Star break, they're definitely selling at the deadline. They're definitely selling at the deadline. Samsonov and Murray are pretty much top 5. Yeah, Murray, what a bounce back he's had. And thank you, Coach Rob Will, um, Cal Peterson. No, because I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand how waivers work, but like if we get him, don't we have to like pay his salary as well, even if we took him off waivers? Because then who? Um, we went from hey extend Horvat, trade Miller. Turns out hey we're here now. Might as well trade one of the last guys who played with the Sedins. Way to go. Yeah, I feel like there's Canucks look like they're sliding back down the standings. Yeah. Habs not far out of a wild card spot. That really pains me, but it gives me hope for next year. Who's better, Edler or OEL? Oh, it's Edler, 100%. I don't think we should have given him up. Like, I understand wanting to go play for a different team. He was here with us forever, but Ryan Miller was in the building? What? That's insane. That's insane. I didn't know. He played for a lot longer than I realized. Yeah, Cal Peterson. He has, like, a cap hit of, like, 5 million. We can't do that. Bring back John Garrett. I'm sure he'd love to. Honestly. Yeah. Leafs and Jets are on a roll. The Jets have really surprised me this season. Oilers and Flames are fighting for playoff spots. The Flames are kind of not doing so hot either. Ironic. Would you cheer for the Leafs in the playoffs? Yeah, but then that means I just have to find another team afterwards, so. That's what I had to do last year. It's like, I'm not even joking. That's what I did last year. Like, the Leafs were out, and I was like, okay, what do I do now? And then I was like, okay, Battle of Alberta. It's okay. But, yeah. Yeah. If the Canucks are out, oh yeah, they're out. Want to cheer for the Leafs in the playoffs? Yes. Yeah, I would. Like, I don't truly hate a lot of teams, except for the Chicago Blackhawks. And, like, a couple others, but, like, the Chicago Blackhawks definitely are the only team. Like, I don't even dislike the Bruins at this point. What was the point of getting new management if this current management are doing the same things? Benning was doing overpaying guys and trading cap space and didn't address the defense. Shots fired. Yeah, shots fired. Yeah, I see a point of that. I do not think they should have signed Miller at all. Especially, I understand, he just scored 99 points, but like, dude, I got a 98 in Math 11. That doesn't mean I'm a mathematician. He just scored 99 points. Like, all due respect to JT Miller, I don't care, honestly. This pattern over the last 10 years of this will be our year, we're gonna retool and this will be our year. This has been a pattern going on and on and on for a decade, since the 2011 almost cup run, I guess you call it. It's always been retool, we'll get it back next year, We've never gotten it back. That's the thing, we've never gotten it back. And now they're doing this with the team. With this new management team, they're also, like, they fired, like, Gillis did that, and then they fired him, they bring in Linden and Benning, and then Linden apparently wants to rebuild, but then they don't want to do that, so they leave. So he leaves, and then, Benning's just like, okay, so we're gonna retool, but he never retools. Like, it's always gonna be retool, and this is gonna be our year. Like, they have said that for years. This year, the whole our pursuit, unfinished business, all that BS. And then it's just like, okay, well, this is basically exactly, like, they had almost the exact same record as they did at this point last year. Like, and this is over, in 5 days, it'll be a year since, no, in 4 days, it'll be a year since they fired Benning and Green and everybody. So, when is it going to end? Are they actually going to rebuild? Because if they actually go and rebuild, then you're wasting a lot of years, a lot of contracts. Like, you still have to pay Elias Pettersson in 2 years, I think. Like, what do you do at that point? You're wasting, like, the younger years of a lot of players. You're wasting a lot of... And then you go and sign... I feel like that's why they thought they were going to carry the momentum from last year into this year, and then they start 0-7. Drafting Ulevy did not help. I still get so mad every day. I still get so mad. Because even if we drafted Matthew Tkachuk and he didn't want to stay here, like he didn't want to stay in Calgary, like, we still would have been a better team. That's my honest thought. Yeah, Horvat, that's the thing, is like Horvat, even if he took a hometown discount or whatever, like, what do you even do? What do you even do? Like, that's still too much. That's still too much. It's just, this team, we've been so close to success and we still haven't gotten it. How many players now the Canucks have no trade clauses that include the team? Yeah, Canucks are losing out on a lot of free agents as well. I do think that's, how did I close the chat? Whoop. I do think that's also a problem, no trade clauses, because there is that whole thing of players, A, don't want to play in Canada, or B, don't want to play on the West Coast because of all the travel. And I understand that, jet lag sucks, but... yeah. If they rebuild, they're wasting a lot of years. If they retool, what is there to retool? Honestly, you try and... they tried this year and they failed. So... Like, are we gonna get... Is this gonna be another shot? It's just... This team just makes me so sad sometimes. And I understand, another thing of having no trade clause. Just, like, who wants to, like, pay for real estate in Vancouver? Like, that kind of just sucks. That sucks. That's... I'm not sugarcoating it. It sucks, but... Yeah. Riley Stillman almost scored. Oh my god, the world would implode if he managed to score on that one play. The single play! He was a -2 this evening. The single play. He had 3 shots on net. He had the same amount. He had more shots than Bo Horvat. He had more shots than Dakota Joshua, who is the only... Okay, Kanye. Yeah. I just hope that when... I'm saying when, not if. I believe it's going to be Delia that's coming in. I just hope that it turns out well for us. I know Seelovs, we called him up last season when both Demko and Halak were injured. But, yeah. Also, just to end off the show tonight, I want to ask you guys a couple questions. So tonight was the Hall of Fame night, to honor Roberto Luongo and the City Twins, because they got inducted to the Hockey Hall of Fame, a few weeks ago in Toronto, which was pretty cool. Alain Vigneault did voiceovers for the videos that they showed in the arena, and I believe they also published them on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know. Cried a little bit. Alain Vigneault said, I don't know if I was a great coach, but I do know I had a great goalie. Just, like, it's tugs at the heartstrings, man. Luongo also winked at Aaron Ekblad, which I thought was hilarious, because, also played with him in Florida. I thought the blanketing ceremony, showing it's like the highest honor in the 3 nations that the Rogers Arena is on, the unceded territory of. I thought that was really interesting and very cool to have that included. Another thing, they also played Viva La Vida during that whole sequence. And they were playing Holiday before the actual game starts, so that was a nice little throwback to better times, especially. They officially used the term sedinery, so I'm waiting for that to be put into the, dictionary. It's gotta be in the dictionary. I also loved Roberto Luongo weighing in on the debate, because obviously he's active on Twitter. He knows what everyone's been saying over the Ring of Honor versus the number retirement. What are your guys' thoughts on it? Personally, I was kind of in the boat, like, even before this was announced, even before it was announced that he was going to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame, I kind of had this idea of, okay, well, if they retire Roberto Luongo's number, what about, like, Kirk McLean? Because he also played with the number 1. He's in the Ring of Honor as well. So I understand it makes sense to put Roberto Luongo in the Ring of Honor, but also at the same time, Kirk McLean, yes, he's important to the Vancouver Canucks and the Vancouver Canucks community. Roberto Luongo is in the frickin' Hockey Hall of Fame. There's a bit of a difference to that. Personally, I think Ring of Honor's really cool. He said, I don't care. Retire the number with McLean. I do think that would be a solution, but they were also discussing on the broadcast, like, where do you kind of end with that? Because I think this is the end of that era of Canucks getting put, like, of that era of the Canucks, like the early 2010s, late 2000s, that era of the Canucks getting retired, Ring of Honor, stuff like that, unless they put Bieksa up there. But he retired a Canuck. Like, that's the only other person I could see going up there. I don't think Kessler should go up there. That's my personal opinion. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Kessler should go up there. Though apparently he wants to retire a Canuck as well. And I'm like, remember 2012? That was fun. Anyway. Yeah. Try the number with McLean. They could do that. Because I know a lot of franchises have retired numbers that are, you know, they have retired the same number. But it's usually teams that have a lot of history behind them, you know? Like, I think Montreal has it. I think Toronto does. Detroit, maybe? I'm not sure. Chicago, maybe. A lot of, like, original 6 teams. Whereas Burrows is in the Ring of Honor. I don't think that he will get his number retired, but I do think it is important that he's in the Ring of Honor. I think, yeah. Whereas Burrows is different because of, you know, he was very important to the Canucks, but it's like, it's a different level for, you know, the Hockey Hall of Fame. Because I fully thought they were going to retire Luongo's number after the Hockey Hall of Fame, similar to what they did with Bure. Remember when Kessler said he hates Canadians? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do think that's cool. Roberto Luongo is going in the Ring of Honor. I do think it's an honor. It's the Ring of Honor, but people are throwing that into way other proportions. Yeah, what's everyone's thoughts about that? Because, I don't know. I don't like it. It's not that I don't like Luongo going in the Ring of Honor. He deserves it, but I also think that the debate is kind of going on. It's way too dramatic. I understand it's hockey, you know, it's like no hockey, all soap opera, but like you need to have some kind of meaningful discourse about stuff. And I understand, like he said it himself. He's fine with whatever. He's like, it doesn't matter to me as long as it matters that like I'm with you guys right here now. So yeah, it'll be cool to get him. It'll be cool to see him up there. I think he's going next to Kirk McLean. So that is cool. Yeah. That was a bit of a debate. Yeah, because they're talking about how the next players that are gonna be retired, it's just like, oh yeah, Pettersson's 24, and I'm like, do you think Pettersson's gonna want to stay here? Like, he's an RFA in a few years. I could see him doing the same thing Matthew Tkachuk did. Honestly, unless he wants to stay in Vancouver, because like, you know, this Swedish train or whatever. Yeah. It'll be an interesting next few years for the Canucks. It'll be an interesting week for the Canucks. They play Arizona on Saturday, they play Montreal on Monday, and then they go back to San Jose. Oh no, they didn't go to did they? They were in San Jose recently, never mind. They go back to San Jose next Wednesday. So yeah. Hopefully they can win the next game, because it's Arizona. Troy from Richmond's coming back, so that's cool. And I hope to see you. I won't be doing Arizona's game. I believe Clay is. So, Yes, tune in on Saturday night for Game Over Vancouver after the game against Arizona. And yeah, hope to see you all later. Like, subscribe, comment down below, rate, review if you're listening to this on a podcast platform. Share the show if you enjoyed. And yeah, hope to see you guys another time. Peace.
Game over! Powered by Sports Interaction. Canada